Hi, Phil.
Cool shirt.
Thanks. I love it too. Tim from Gotham Knights Online.
Nice play.
Nice to meet you. So, you previously voiced Vandal Savage before in Justice League.
I did.
And now in this Justice League Doom. Was it easy for you to go back into the role of Vandal Savage for this movie?
Fairly easy. I was directed by Bruce Timm and Andrea Romano, but they were not married to anything I did in the past. That I was still brought in because they loved my Vandal Savage, but what they wanted to do was ratchet it up a little bit, create a more evil, or more sinister Vandal Savage. Because the stakes are much higher now. I mean, not that they're ever low with Vandal Savage, but he really feels as though he's got the golden ticket to this. He feels like he's got the way to create the world he wants. And he really thinks it's a sure thing. So there's no reason for him to nuance it the way that I did before. I think before he's still testing the water. Now he's been testing the water. He's gotten his butt kicked several times by these guys. So he figures the way to overthrow the world is to overthrow them. If they're out of the way, he's got free reign. That's not a bad plan. But you'll see what happens.
Definitely. So one of my favorite Justice League episodes that featured Vandal Savage was Hereafter, where Superman gets transported in the future. And Vandal Savage almost was a good guy in that episode.
At least you felt for him. I don't know if he's the good guy, because he's literally destroyed the world. He has nothing more to conquer. And when he realizes that, he falls into despair. He realizes the breadth and length of his loneliness, and he becomes quite human in that. We don't really look at Vandal as human. We look at him as a villain. And I think we separate the humanistic part of a person when they are so villainous, you know. In the Hereafter, I mean, Vandal is tired. You see, tired. He's world-weary, immortal, and he wants to give it up, and he wants to die, and he wants Superman to kill him, which Superman can't do, of course. But through the machinations of the episode, you see how he is destroyed. And even at the end, he says to Superman, "Thank you, my friend," which is the last thing you would ever expect to hear from Vandal Savage.
Yeah, definitely. And transitioning to Smallville, there was that episode, Absolute Justice, where we got a sneak peek a little bit where Martian Manhunter got to see him in his alien form.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that was awesome. Was there any talk about doing future episodes where you would actually play him in makeup in the alien?
They never really talked about that, but I told them I would do a Michael Dorn. I would wear the preoccipital lobe and all that stuff. If it gave me a chance to play John more expansively and more specifically. I love comics. No one needs to be more pleased with my work in that genre than I do. You know, I hold that medium to a very high standard, and I was really concerned with playing him with as much integrity as I possibly could. I would have loved to have explored him more.
And one last question: is there any particular either comic villain or comic hero that you haven't played yet that maybe you would like to play?
Black Panther, John Stewart. Who else? There are so few, unfortunately, out there. But those two would be the top of my list.
That would be awesome to see. Thanks a lot, Phil.
My pleasure.